Mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
We're now about to go live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now live.
89.5 WSKB.
From the campus of Westfield State University,
This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
WSKB's programming is generously underwritten by Whip City Fiber, Westfield Gas and Electric, where they offer gigabit internet speed. Whip City Fiber, turning Westfield's neighborhoods into fiberhoods. On the web at whipcityfiber.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
And not Bob Plass.
Bob's tardy.
That's all right. He'll be here soon. Mr. Pete Coles is on the other side of the board with a new set of headphones. And it looks like it's adjusted.
The old one's broke.
It looks like it's adjusted for your hair that's not there.
Right. Mine's adjusted for the hair that's not there.
Yeah. So so tell us why you have a naked head. I'm sure we've discussed it before, but
I do the St. Baldrick's thing every year and raise money for children's cancer research is what I do.
Ah,
yes,
very cool.
That
was last Sunday they shaved you, right?
A couple days ago, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So this is my 11th year. There's two people. Well, now there's three people. There's the guy that runs the event, Matt Malo. There is myself, and now there's the guy that supervises all the barbers.
Okay.
We're now all 10-year plus vets of this event.
Ah.
Which is very cool.
So it's a barber consortium, as it were.
No.
A bunch of barbers?
They're people that volunteer their time. I told the girls at Vivid that if they win next year and actually get me to the point that they want me to be, I think it's something about polka dots and their logo in my head. If they win next year, then they all need to register on the site and become shavers for the event. So they become celebrity guest shavers and each get a pass at my noggin.
I kind of like that.
I do too. I think it's awesome.
The polka dot thing. Now there's something different.
They claim they want to put a jar year-round out there and raise a ton of money to do this.
That's kind of cool.
I think so, yeah.
Now, they're the ones that, before you get your head shaved, you get it colored.
Correct. My highest bidder gets to pick my hair color. And this year it was gold, and that's the color of childhood cancer.
Yes. Yeah.
So Tina Gorman picked that color this year, and I was a blonde.
Wait a minute, I missed you being a blonde.
There's pictures all over Facebook.
Right, but how long were you a blonde?
I couldn't.
It's gonna fall off if you keep turning it that way.
Oh.
I couldn't. You want to fix that for him, Jay?
I don't know what.
I couldn't get a appointment until Tuesday of last week. You got to hold it, Jay, because it's moving.
Oh, okay. We're talking about the microphone.
Headphones falling.
I'm going to say something nasty, but I won't. So.
All right. Okay.
Well, no, and that's not nasty. It's something that would have been misconstrued. So, and Bob's all tangled up all over the place here. So, by the way, Bob just showed up.
Oh yeah. Well, look. It's
mean.
my show.
When you show up.
Yeah, when I show up.
It's going to be that kind of morning.
Yeah. Look, I passed. I was on Western Avenue, and I passed the turn, and I had to turn around, and that made it difficult. Then I got out of the car and I walked halfway, and I realized I left my keys because I have this stupid half electric car, and so the keys sit there inside of the car. And if I forget, I mean, you don't know how many times, if you ever see my car around town, you might be able to steal it. So I'll tell everybody that right now. I mean, like, if you see my car, no, I'm not. But I, for some reason, leave the keys at every time. So now I'm trying to clean up my act. And so rather than, I know. Yeah, it's totally.
So I don't know why you were worried about this. Don't you know that your producer and your lusty, dusty, musty,
and sidekick JPEG Luca?
We watch the store for you. If you
I do. I know you do, and I bring you the coffee. And
that's why we come here. You know.
No. And in actuality, I can't even have coffee today because Dr. Schmelkin rides.
Oh, what are we doing? What are we doing to? No, I don't want to.
Yeah, you can. Okay, I can tell everybody. What the hell? I'm not.
Schmelkin's working on your insides.
Yeah, I'm doing in one of those endoscopy things. At I have to leave at 7:30 or 7:25. Then at 8:30 I go.
Why didn't you tell us he was bugging out for the end of the show?
I did. I'm not lying the other night.
Are they doing the tumbling camera again?
Huh?
The tumbling?
No. This is where they stick some kind of big monster thing down my mouth.
Oh, okay.
And then it's you're under sedation, so it's nothing. You just sort of wake up. Let's hope. But at any rate,
okay, Bob. If you don't, we're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever had this happen where you have food and drink? Okay, and they say no food or drink after midnight, okay, 8 hours before or whatever. Right. So it's 10 o'clock at night. I haven't had a drink or water since 7 when I had dinner or something. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to be able to have water for the next
so I better load
10
up.
hours. And so I took a little swig of water. Every 2 hours, I was up drinking, going.
Purging. You were purging.
No, every regular night there is no.
Take the water away from you.
No.
Okay.
At 10 o'clock at night, I am not thinking about having a glass of water. But because they said I couldn't have water until...
Oh, now you get to think of nothing else.
Nothing else. Yeah. So now...
Bob, you obsess way too much about things. You know that, right?
Yes. Is there a pill I can take? No, I can't take a pill.
It's called willpower.
Willpower. I'm trying to do willpower. Like today, to watch you guys have coffee and me not be able to have coffee.
Will's not here.
No. And
we do appreciate you bringing the coffee.
Yeah, well, okay. So here's the deal. I'm trying to find out the source of my GERD. The dreaded GERD, the gastroenteritis. Everyone and their brother seems to suffer from this darn thing. Everyone. I mean, like everyone you talk to.
For everything.
Yeah, I know. It's sort of when I was a therapist, everyone and their brother had. What was it? It was there was some disorder that everybody suffered from, and it's true. I mean, we're all kinds of little anxiety disorder people, but
there's somebody somewhere in a closet that thinks up all of these terms.
Oh, it's exactly. It's called labeling. It's absolutely right, and
there's a term for that.
It's exactly right. But where was I going with this?
I have no idea.
Where did I start? And then maybe I could.
You're on your own, Bob.
You walked in the door. Never mind.
Yeah, well, whatever. If everybody was expecting a star. Oh, I know. My GERD. Oh, okay, the diet. Okay, all right.
Sorry, folks, I tried to save you, but he's back.
All right, okay. The diet. I, this week, cut out the stuff that I'm not supposed to have. Tomatoes, onions, chocolate. I found out
you should have done all that for Lent.
Yeah.
It's Easter.
Pepper, yeah. pepper. I'm not
Black
supposed
pepper,
to. Black pepper,
bell
cayenne,
pepper.
any kind of pepper. I'm not cutting it down to. I'm still eating red peppers or whatever those peppers are. Bell peppers and stuff like that. But the seasoning, no. Alcohol, supposedly. Coffee, supposedly. I was very good for about 2 weeks until I went out on Saturday night with a dear cousin of mine, and I had a couple of drinks. I mean, I didn't have a ton of drinks. Well,
was it the little tin cup?
I did have. I had a Moscow. We went to a great restaurant, incidentally, that I'd never known. It's in a strip mall on Belmont Avenue. It's called La Villa Napolitana. Have you ever heard of this?
Villa Napolitana.
Yeah. A friend of mine used to own a 7-Eleven right there. They've turned the 7-Eleven or Dairy Mart into this very wonderful restaurant. Well, I rode past it just like I rode past today's thing. I seem to be riding past it.
Near the X.
Near the X. Go down Belmont Avenue, and just after you make the turn toward East Longmeadow on the right-hand side.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It could not have been. So I had 2 Moscow Mules and a half a bottle of wine. Oh, shut up. Well, I know.
So Bob has already violated Dr. Schmoken's order.
Yeah. So poor Dr. Schmoken. So actually, Dr. Gowdy's going to do it for Dr. Schmoken today. He's going down. He's taking me down into the mouth, and so at any rate, so I'm trying. I'm doing my best to figure it out. Now somebody recommended apple cider vinegar. Denny Aikens, Master of the Universe, said to me he takes a spoonful of apple cider vinegar every night, and it seems to be helping his
spoonful of sugar.
Yeah, well,
that's like labeling. People, just because it works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone.
No, not exactly right. And of course, because I take a Telenol for the heart palpitations or something.
A Telenol?
A Telenol. Oh, yeah.
A Telenol.
How do you say it?
A Telenol. I take it too. It's part of my high blood pressure regimen.
My dog takes it as well. When I don't have enough, I borrow from the dog because we're on the same medication.
I'm going back to a spoonful of sugar.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So at any rate,
I put red up because it's a red alert day apparently on Wow It's Tuesday.
Oh, contra. What does that mean?
Red alert day.
Be very afraid.
I'm sure there's something there that we should know about, but there's not.
Yeah. Okay. So get this. I was all set to do the apple cider vinegar, and then I go online and I read about it, and it says if you're on a heart medication, do not take. So consequently, then that scratched that. Then I have Travis Stork, Dr. Travis Stork. He used to be. Oh, that's the asylum coming to get me.
No, it's the red alert sound from Star Trek.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, Peter. And so then I find out that Dr. Travis Stork, he was the Bachelor, years ago. He was one of the first Bachelor. Now he's a doctor, and he's on the doctor's program in the afternoon, okay, at 3 o'clock. Usually when I'm having my decaffeinated tea, because I'm not allowed caffeine. Caffeine is the other thing.
Sorry, I have to watch Dr. Ruth.
So I'm watching.
Jay, you might want to put on your headphones for this.
Okay. So he's written a book about the belly and a gut diet that is based on sauerkraut. So that's my latest thing. I'm going to start.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
This is important for people to know. There may be somebody out there that has not tried apple cider vinegar or sauerkraut.
You need to become a guest on Tina's show then. That's health and wellness.
You know how many people right now you're helping to lose weight because they're not going to have breakfast this morning? So
at any rate,
before we go to break,
the story of my
on JP's golden age of radio this week.
Well, how are you going to tie this together? How are you?
Actually, no.
Are you off this week?
No. I'm off
you have a guest next week. Yes.
No, I wanted to talk about this
I'm
week.
leaving.
Our 7 o'clock hour this week on JP's Talk About Town. This Friday, we're going to have Janet St. Jean on the air for a little while.
I love her.
Now, Janet, though there's a lot of people around going, why do I know that name?
Yeah.
We going back a long time ago in a galaxy not so far, far away, she was a music teacher at Munger Hill School.
Mm-hmm.
My kids went there, and I was amazed at the sounds that she could garner out of these young kids.
Yes, I know.
She
this.
started Young Singers back then. Both of my kids were part of Young Singers.
Oh, were they? Oh.
And my daughter Maria made it many years, right up through high school, and ended up on her Mariah group for many years.
So wonderful, the Mariah group.
So Mariah, Young Singers broke up, I think, last year.
That's right.
Dissolved, and then Young Singers, or I'm sorry, Mariah. This is the last concert coming up.
That's right.
In a couple of weeks.
Is it
Saturday,
April 4th?
Saturday, April 6th, I think.
April 6th, yeah. We're going for sure.
Yeah, so the very last Mariah concert is going to be held here in Westfield. She will be here to talk about it. I'm going to run. We'll have her live on the air this Friday from 7 to 8, and I'm going to rerun that the following Friday right before the concert. So tune in. That'll be fun.
Call Janet because they did a tape. They did a CD, the Young Singers.
Yes,
I have and it's really great fun. And there's some really kind of cool songs on there.
Why don't you get that? Why don't you get that to Jay so I can rip it for Friday's show?
I'll be glad to
use it for the breaks.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
It's very good. It's excellent.
I'm always thinking,
Oh, thank you, Peter.
Why?
Thank you.
Because it helps make this place better.
Just to start where we
send that back, or full circle back to nothing we want to hear about anymore.
No,
what's the break?
Peter,
what are you doing going into break?
Oh well, listen. My break song today is the wonderful Wesla Whitfield, who you both don't know. Never heard
Crickets.
of Crickets.
Yes.
Yeah. Wesla Whitfield. Her name is
Wesla Whitfield.
Okay,
Crickets.
she actually passed away a few weeks ago. Okay, she is a wonderful, one of the best singers ever, and I've always loved her. She was a victim of random violence. Two young kids with guns years ago shot at her, and she spent the rest of, for the last maybe 20 years in a wheelchair, but still singing, mostly in San Francisco and on radio and with some symphony orchestras, etc., etc. And I was looking at and listening to some of her stuff because she's got such a distinctive voice, and I said, I got to play something. And then I found out it's an unknown Irving Berlin song, which is perfect because when we come back, I can tell you I finished that Irving Berlin book, as you noticed, and how my hero has fallen off a pedestal. But at any rate, this is Wesla Whitfield singing a Berlin song that nobody knows called It's a Lovely Day Tomorrow. It's not. He also wrote "It's a Lovely Day Today," but he also wrote "It's a Lovely Day Tomorrow." Listen to this great song.
The front page of your paper is bound to make you sad, especially if you're the worrying sort. So turn the front page over where news is not so bad. There's consolation in the weather report. It's a lovely day tomorrow. Tomorrow is a lovely day. Come and feast your tear-dimmed eyes on tomorrow's clear blue skies. If today your heart is weary, if every little thing looks gray, just forget your troubles and learn to say was a lovely day.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Wally Computer Associates, one of the largest technology providers in North America. Headquartered in Southwick, Wally provides all of the products and services that you'd expect from a world-class technology partner to schools, colleges, businesses, as well as state and local governments and agencies. Wally Computer Associates, meeting all of your technology needs. On the web at WCA.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Thursday morning from 6 till 8, it's Patrick Berry, owner of the Westfield News Group.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It's, what day is it? March 27th.
And there's 272 days, 17 hours, 37 minutes, and 13 seconds.
Oh, there
Christmas.
goes another second. Oh my God.
Man.
Oh,
I gotta
God.
go shopping.
I got to get to Walmart.
Okay.
All right. Hey,
By the way, Patrick Berry is back this Thursday at Tigers Pride. We'll be starting our live shows from Tigers Pride starting this week.
So you're going to be on Thursdays at Tigers Pride always?
Every Thursday until the studio is done next door, and then, we'll start doing it from there.
Great.
So here's my favorite.
Tigers Pride for everyone is what?
Is 33 Smith Avenue. It's the restaurant at Westfield Technical Academy.
And you can stop over and
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome to stop over. And his guests will be the Save the St. Mary's group.
Here's my favorite line of this morning.
Yes.
It was off-air, an off-air line.
Yeah.
And as many of you know, Patrick Berry has had some shoulder surgery done.
Yes.
And we can talk about that because it's a part of this story.
Sure.
And so when you have shoulder, it's sore. It's you can't do a lot.
You're
of
in a sling with a
surgery.
pad thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking about that Patrick is coming back, and Bob says, so is he walking with a cane? Just another Bobism. Put it in the book.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So I wanted to tell you.
Patrick, if you're listening, Bob wishes you a speedy recovery
I do.
on a fake injury.
And we hope you don't have to walk with a cane.
Well, the arm might be affected, so he wouldn't be able to hold the cane. Oh God! Yesterday I was driving. You won't believe this. I almost hit Captain Mike McCabe.
No,
he was
his car or his
he was
person?
running on the street, and I was turning the corner, and I almost hit the captain of the police.
Don't hit. No.
God,
I have a feeling you'd lose that one in court.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, and he was so, Mike, if you were listening, you were so concentrated on running, which was really great.
He was avoiding the pothole.
You avoided looking me in the eye to know that I was the crazy guy that almost hit you.
You can be sure he noticed the license plate.
Oh yeah. What is this?
When the Sheriff John Brown come for you.
Oh, I love that. Oh, little reggae. Who is that?
No, that's a theme from Cops.
Oh, see, I haven't. I'm Eric Estrada's Cops.
No, the reality show Cops.
Oh, I never watched that. Other than I can see people who no.
I gotta pull a drop for that. I'm gonna just pull that the guitar.
Yeah.
The bass riff.
Yeah.
No. So here, let me tell you about how this hero of mine,
yes,
Irving Berlin, fell off the pedestal.
What happened?
Well, I read the book.
He
I
pushed
read his
the pedestal
life story.
over, and he hit the pedestal while he was driving down the road.
Bob tripped over it.
For years I thought, oh my God, a composer for 101 years composing. Well, he didn't compose the last 20 years of his life. So he only composed until he was like 80.
Right
Give the man a break. He was in his 80s.
He didn't fall off for that. But it turns out that he was not very nice. And he was rather stingy with his money, except for God Bless America, which he wrote, which all did you know this? All of the royalties for every time God Bless America is sung go to the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts of America.
Good deal.
Isn't that good?
Yes.
Okay.
So he wasn't a curmudgeon, Bob.
Well, he was. He stayed in the house basically for the last 20 years of his life.
Maybe he was autistic.
No. And he
do we know? I mean, autism wasn't diagnosed back then.
No, this was written. This is a new book. Well, it's not a new book, but it's about 20 years old, 15 years old. And autism was around back then. But yeah, there must have. I think he was suffering from depression because he wasn't writing songs and stuff. But he was not a nice person, and it kept saying that over and over to me.
Maybe that was the spin they were trying to portray.
But no, he was a very fair author because he was talking about how wonderful the songs are, the big songs. He wrote 1,500 songs. Can you imagine that?
You can still be.
Songs.
Listen, I can be a fan of somebody and detest their personal life.
Ooh, I think we're headed into stormy territory.
No. I don't
here.
even care about that. I don't care. I'm talking like music artists. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure
music
there's a
artists
label for that.
Yeah.
There's music artists that I like that their personal life is a mess and just
So you separate who they are from what they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can do that. Some people can't.
Yeah.
But think about it. It is often the trials and tribulations of those artists' lives that are the fodder for their greatest songs. And I'll use this as an example. Fleetwood Mac, when they did Rumors.
I love that. That's my favorite album.
And that
was all about the infighting.
When they were writing all of those songs.
Yes.
There was all kinds of personal infighting within the
cheating going on.
Mac. So and that was the inspiration for so many of their hits. So many people, so many artists.
But that's you're proving my point. I can separate the personal from the public.
See, but I don't get any of that. I mean, we talk about everyone with these labels and illnesses. Well, from someone like me that has none of those.
Oh, really?
I mean,
I don't get it.
And there's a couch over there, Jay. Sit down on it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a label for that.
Let me get my DSM-5 out immediately. Yeah. So at any rate, hey, here's a question then for you. Are you able to watch Bill Cosby's The Cosby Show? Given everything that we know about Bill Cosby and his personal life?
None of it's been proven. Let it go.
None of
it's been proven.
So you'd watch it until it was proven guilty. Should we take it off the air because it was such a
I still see
hysterical?
It out there. I wonder. I have to wonder why networks are playing that because it has a negative connotation about it. People are still watching Cosby, really?
Yeah.
Well, when I go down through the list, I go, nah, I don't want to watch that now.
Yeah.
And is it fair or not to Mr. Cosby? He hasn't been proven guilty. He might be. He might not be. But people have already convicted.
I'll bet money on it. But yes, exactly right. The idea of
Kevin Spacey, one of the most talented actors of our age, he really is.
I know he is.
He's a kind of a dirtbag in real life.
Yeah,
but,
right. Exactly right.
But he's still one of the most talented actors.
So would you watch?
Why do you think that?
He's been accused by everybody and their brother.
You just said it. He's been accused.
Right.
Oh,
right?
yeah. But listen, I know personally because one of the people who's accused him is an old friend of mine. So we know that. I know that story, and I trust what I heard. So
hearsay.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you, attorney Pagluka.
Not even close.
No, really. So okay. So here's the deal. I thought, geez, should I start to watch? Will House of Cards be taken off of Netflix? They've changed the story so he's not on the last year. But are we going to be totally free of anything that has to do?
The whole movement is to try to purge everything that's bad, and that's not a good thing. You need to have the warts.
Well, you need to have the warts. We do want to purge everything that's bad.
No, but purge it from memory so it doesn't it doesn't exist. When it doesn't exist, it goes underground. It becomes worse.
Mm-hmm.
When the World Trade Center, when the towers came down,
right,
there was a rush to remove any shots of the World Trade Center from television, from movies.
Mm-hmm.
We got to redo this. We can't show a shot with. Yeah, you should. You can. You have to.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah. My idea about those statues that they've been taken down is that they leave it like our statue in the center of town. Apparently, who's that? General Taylor.
Did the whole thing about taking down the Confederate monuments?
No, yeah, but wait a minute,
so
Peter.
What?
I'm in the
it's
middle
part of
it.
our history.
What's
Shepard.
General Shepard. Okay,
yes.
General Shepard apparently killed a lot of Indians by giving them poison blankets or something. I don't know. Maybe somebody.
But
gave
that's
me a
part of our history.
Yes. Okay.
Don't forget.
No. But before we take the statue down, what I think, if people want to do something about that, there could be a little plaque on the statue that tells the truth
with an asterisk.
Yeah, no. It tells
How about
the
people
truth.
go to the library and look it up themselves? Everybody wants everything spoon-fed to them.
Not necessarily.
Yes, they do.
Well, I know, but I think we have.
And if we don't have it spoon-fed to us, let's just take it down because it's bad. No, that's ridiculous.
Well, no. So most people, many of those people that are complaining don't read. Period. So.
But those are the people that are making the most noise, Bob.
They don't. You're saying, well, let them go to the library and read about it. No, the people that aren't complaining sometimes, I would say many of them are not very educated. I mean, I'm not talking about you.
Are you stereotyping, Bob?
No.
There's a name for that.
But all these Confederate monuments, whatever, down in the South that were taken down,
yeah,
right?
Go ahead.
That's part of our history. Those are warts in our history.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah.
We're doomed to repeat history if you don't learn it and understand it.
In Berlin, they have the cathedral that was bombed during World War II as part of their cityscape. And you see all these great buildings, and then there is the church that is bombed. And you see this bombed church in the center of Berlin that the Berliners have kept there to keep their history alive.
Right.
And I hear that.
Again, you've just made my point.
No.
Yes, you have.
No, I'm not arguing. I didn't say that I'm for
leave the
taking
bad stuff up so we don't forget the bad stuff.
But I also think that the bad stuff, we have to find a way so people hear the both sides of the story.
By the way, is Dr. Seuss a bad person?
No.
So then why did 3 people get the whole mural changed in the museum? I think that was ridiculous.
Well, sometimes when you...
Bob, it was ridiculous.
There's something called... here, let me explain what universal design is, okay? You have ever heard of universal design?
No, I understand reality.
Okay, no. Yeah. Universal design is a teaching method where the teacher teaches to everyone in the class, including those that are of different persuasions, different and makes accommodations for everyone in the class.
There's the word.
Okay. Yes. Okay. But this is a proven thing. Let me tell you, the accommodations that we make for one person. Okay. No, wait a minute. Let me finish. The accommodations that we make for one person actually have benefited many people.
You didn't answer my question, though.
What is that?
Do you think it was wrong to take down that one one symbol from a Dr. Seuss book and redo an entire mural that was on a wall.
If it offended 4 people, yes.
No, I don't. I don't agree with that.
Well, then we're going to
because you know what?
Disagree.
That's part of history, Bob.
It,
Good, bad, or otherwise. You're saying erase history. You are becoming what the Nazis were. They erased history to write it in their own image. That's what they did.
Jay,
that's fascism.
Jay.
Bob, tell me I'm wrong. That's what they did.
No.
Just because it fits your narrative doesn't mean it's not right.
Right, but it sounds like you're saying that your narrative is the more correct.
No, I'm saying leave it there and let everybody.
What are you looking at me
Bob,
for? You
I'm
want
saying
me to fix this argument?
No. I'm saying leave it there and let everybody be their own judge.
Okay.
Who are you
yes.
to judge?
Yes, but you are also you have your opinion, and I have my opinion, and I respect your opinion, and you can respect my opinion.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a different take on it.
To accommodate one for all is not good for all.
Yes, it is. I want you to. I'll bring you some words, some books on universal design, and you'll find out. You'll find out. And quite honestly, if indeed we're not erasing our history so much. We're not rewriting history.
I watched it come down on television, Bob.
The 2 people who were stereotyped pictures that Dr. Seuss, because of the culture that he lived in,
and all over the country, Bob.
Yeah. Yes.
Down south,
mm-hmm.
I watched people target stuff all over the country.
Yes.
Because they might have owned a slave once,
or
because they were a Confederate general being honored.
Okay. I'm going to agree to disagree.
That's fine.
Okay. So we'll leave it at that.
That's fine.
Okay, and people can. I think
6:36 on WSKD.
All right. Thank you, Peter. Bob Dylan. I have been watching the episodes of Bob Dylan. Okay.
By the way, just to let you know, people watching on YouTube never hear the Bob Dylan tune because that's the one that gets blocked in every country in the world.
No, you're kidding.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, I've only got one more week of this, so
that's fine. I'm just telling you.
Oh yeah.
That's
Go
the one
on
that
YouTube.
comes up with the copyright claim.
Oh my God. Did you know that in 1997 he was diagnosed with some fungus around his heart? And
he has a fungus among us?
Yes. And so he does this MTV show like Tony Bennett called Dylan Unplugged. Did you?
I love the Unplugged series.
Okay. So he did Dylan Unplugged, and then he came out with one of his best albums. It's called Time Out of Mind. Do you know the Time Out of Mind album?
I probably heard songs from it, yeah.
So he wanted to replicate the sounds of the 1950s. So they used all these mics.
Did he use a Hammond B3?
Maybe used a Hammond. Well, I was thinking
Jay liked that one.
70s thing.
Yeah, I think they did. And this album is all about his coping with death and mortality, etc.
Isn't he still alive?
Oh my God! Oh, Bob Dylan. Yes,
yeah, right.
Of course. But at this point, he was like at 50 or 60 years old. Peter.
I'm
he
just
was
saying, Bob, it was a joke.
I get it. He's still alive, but at 50 or 60, he's
coming to
really
grips
blue.
on the back nine.
Yes, exactly right. So this is his song.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
He rules the roost on Thursday from 6 till 10. It's Patrick Berry.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning, March 27, 2018, and counting.
I like it. The sun's coming up at 6:43 in the morning.
Oh, and it's going to be sunny today. We didn't even talk about
it's getting up into the high 50s.
60s, some days too.
50 plus today.
Unbelievable.
And sunny.
I know it.
Oh, by the way, we've been looking at the weather now for this coming Saturday, which is the mayor's Easter egg hunt.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
And originally it was looking stormy, showery.
Yeah.
Now the storm is pushed off to Sunday, and Saturday looks nice and clear.
Nice of them to do that for us.
And where it is at South Middle School, right?
Well, no, it's
behind the field.
It's right behind the Boys and Girls Club and Amelia Park. So it's in that kiddie corner there,
right,
where the Boys and Girls Club playground is.
Right.
And that's where the little kids, the toddlers, will be in the playground.
Okay, got it.
And then kids from 4 to 6 will be out in the field.
Right.
At 10:30.
Right.
And then at 11:30 we'll have the 6 to 10 group.
Uh-huh. And then at 12 noon, there's a cocktail party at my house directly across the street.
I was going to ask, where do the adults go?
Okay.
No. Wait a minute.
Don't laugh.
Oh, my God.
As soon as I break down, I'm pulling in your driveway.
Stop. Yeah, you can. You're welcome. But, holy God.
Jay, I'm going to make it to Bob's house.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, it's Easter, isn't it, this weekend?
Yes, it is.
I forgot that it's Easter. Oh, look at that wonderful woman coming in, Lauren Kondarski.
All right, finish your story.
From the
Easter
farm.
weekend. Where are you going for dinner?
You know, I missed St. Patrick's Day, so I might be missing
You need to make up Easter. No, you need to make up for Easter.
I think I better go to church and pray for our souls. I really
pray for your soul, Bob. You're conflicted.
Oh my God!
You need
don't know.
Bob. You need to go to confession.
I do. Well, no. I gotta draw the line.
How long you got? Father. How long you got?
Father. Dear Father, it's been 14 decades since, oh my God, I'll never forget that I went to this wedding.
We're not going to talk about the last time you went to confession.
Yeah, well, it might have been.
Pull up a microphone, Lauren.
Yeah.
Pull up a microphone, Lauren.
So
pull it right up front.
You know, we at Holy Cross, we had a priest that was deaf.
Holy Cross.
That's who I went to confess. No, Holy Cross College.
Oh.
I went to confession to the deaf priest all the time. So you could tell him you murdered your parents, and he'd say 5 Our Fathers and 3 Hail Marys and see me in the morning, and that's about it. So at any rate.
Convenient.
Bob needs a lot of confession.
My roommate was getting married, and I was so they had the rehearsal dinner, and somehow or other I was the one that was going to drive the priest who was going to marry them to the gig.
You drew the short straw?
So he did a confession
no.
Okay.
So they told me I was going to do this. So we go to the rehearsal, and then Father so-and-so says, now I'm going to be over there. Everybody will come over, and you can have your confession if you need to go to confession so that you can receive in the morning. And I'm going, humma, 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 humma. I'm going in, and I'm going to talk to the stranger, and then I'm going to tell the sins of a lifetime. And then he's going to drive me, or I'm going to drive him to an event. And I had this choice. Well, I wonder if I'm going to go to hell for this. What do you think
No
I
such
did?
place.
Yeah, no. Oh, there with Lauren coming.
Somebody walked in as an atheist this morning.
Oh my God, help me.
Definitely not an atheist,
No,
but
no.
definitely not a believer in man-made mysteries.
Some of us are already living there, you know. It's you don't.
So
not
at
that
any
it's
rate,
me.
I said, okay, I'm going to sort of give the sanitized version of my
If
sins.
you go to confession and you don't really tell everything you really
That's a
did,
sin.
is that another
That's
sin?
a sin. Yes.
Okay, so you get all done.
But you're only supposed to tell venial. No, you're only supposed
But
to
sins,
tell.
there's not a lot of sins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
By definition.
Like,
Yeah.
By definition, like
Well,
you
you're
have to
supposed-
really come up with stuff. Like when you were a kid,
Oh. I
you
used
would
to
have
make
to like
stuff up.
make things
Yeah,
up
I did too.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did? Both of you
because
make things
they
up?
would be like, you have to say
You have to
something.
confess your Well, I can't think of anything that
And when
really
you're, like,
fits that
6,
category.
yeah.
I don't know about y'all,
so
but I was a
make
good Catholic
something
boy.
up, you know? It's
Just
just,
be-
who? Yeah, that's
you only
exactly.
know your family. What are you gonna do?
Of course, I was a good Catholic boy, but I didn't enjoy much of high school either. So
No, yeah. Well, I would say this: that the sins that I committed back then were sins like lying to my parents or whatever. This idea of
were you a proper teenager?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
But
okay.
my theory then, as I grew older, was that we're supposed to confess our mortal sins. Now, a mortal sin is something that is going to scourge you for all eternity in the flames of hell. Who in their right mind would commit anything? Eat meat on Friday.
It could be a felony there.
or whatever, and suffer the pains of hell. I mean, like what the hell that the nuns at Cathedral told me.
And they were probably
they
very
were
intense.
brutal. They were brutal. So in my mind, I thought, geez, I really don't commit mortal sins, because if I do, then I am condemning myself to hell, and I don't want to condemn myself to hell.
But the whole
And
point is to get forgiveness. That's why you go.
I do. I want to be forgiven, but I'm not exactly sure that there is any sin that I've, or quote unquote sin, or thing that I've done that I have done purposely to hurt,
He's
kill.
trying the ignorance defense.
Yeah, maybe that's to try. I don't think it's working, is it?
No,
This is not working. This is not working. Oh my gosh.
Bob, just
are you
keep
feeling-
digging, brother.
When was the last time you
Keep
went
digging,
to
brother.
confession? When was the last time you went to confession, Jay Pagluca?
What's confession?
Yeah. Peter, have you been in a while?
It's been about a couple of years, but I used to have great talks with Father Savage. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I could tell Father Savage my sins and what my supposed sins. I lied to my mommy and my daddy, or
you know what he's going to go to you?
Some candy.
He's going to go to you, Robert. Tell me the real deal,
So
and then you'll just tell him everything.
So in the confessional,
Yeah.
you get the little sliding door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When it was closed, I used to put my ear up to it to hear what the other person was talking about. So, was that a sin?
Some friend of mine went to a confession.
wise.
Yeah, he put the priest to sleep. Literally, he put the priest to sleep. He was sleeping. And, yeah.
We didn't have confessionals like that. We had to go into, like, you would sit next to
Face to face.
sit in a pew next to him.
Ooh.
See,
Yeah.
this is traumatic for people.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Well, part of it is the anonymity that
Anonymity.
and that's the word. Yeah,
Kinda like Facebook.
So you go in the little box, and he can't really tell
Oh,
who
they
you are.
all know who everyone is.
They know by
Absolutely.
voice.
Oh
Yeah, they know
my
by
Come
voice.
on.
Oh, yeah, it's exactly right.
Have you watched any BBC crime drama shows? Please.
2 points for Lorna.
Oh, my God,
man.
you are absolutely right, Lauren. They knew.
You gotta go like to another state.
Yeah. I think
Go down to St. Patrick's Cathedral and tell all your
Yeah,
sins.
exactly.
I had an aunt. My great aunt Grace used to go to St. Stanislaus once a year. She never went to church, only once a year.
St.
And it might
Stan's in
have been
Chicopee,
in
right?
St. Stan's, and that was she was a member of St. Patrick's, but she would go to confession at St. Stan's.
Smart woman.
Yeah, there you go.
And then we'd go out to breakfast. It was the
And she walks
biggest
into
thing.
her own church. Oh, she's such a saint.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Well,
I've got my dispensation. I'm good.
Yeah. Hey, it's 6:51 in the morning. Lauren Kendarski is here. We're going to have some down-home talk at the down-home farm in Southwick, the Black Squirrel Farm. No, Black Rabbit. Black squirrels are Westfield. Black Rabbit is Southwick. The Black Rabbit Farm in Chantereau. To go catering.
You got to take your 6:45 break, Bob.
But I'm going to take my break here. Bob Dylan had a son. Did you know that Bob Dylan had a son?
Yeah.
Jacob Dylan. Do you know this?
Bob thinks this is a revelation to everybody. When
I
he's
had
like
no
a big
idea.
He also
90s,
makes music.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
big 90s pop star.
Yeah, I had no idea. And he was the leader of the Wallflowers. Did you ever hear the Wallflowers? I don't know where I was during the 80s. I don't know.
90s, Bob.
The 90s.
Oh, they were in the...
He skipped right over the 80s.
I was occupied with living.
Yeah.
It's exactly. I was in New York, and I was praying for all of our souls.
No one remembers anything when they're in New York.
Yes, no. So I figured I'd play, just see if you can hear Bob Dylan in the voice of Jacob Dylan in the Wallflowers. This is a song that they wrote and sang called Closer to You.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at betsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Really?
Oh. Wow! Wait a minute. Peter said, Bob. It was sort of like I was in a, and I've taken my medication. Bob, come back to reality and say, wow, it's Tuesday, March 27th, 2018 and counting, and we are here with Jay Pagluka, trustee sidekick, the merrymaker of madness, March's merrymaker of madness, Peter Coles, the kitten of the keys.
Dun, dun,
yeah, let's hear that meow.
Oh.
Oh, there we are. Yeah. And then we have that farmer's daughter from way back.
Farmer's daughter,
Lauren Kondarski. Yes.
What?
Farmer's daughter.
My dad might take offense to that.
Oh, what is that?
Was your dad a farmer?
No, your farmer. No. Do you consider, is there a.
Keep digging, Bob.
Yeah, no. Is
all morning long.
A farmer is that a masculine term or a feminine term?
Ooh,
in the history books, because now that I think about it, when we were talking about
farmette, what am I?
Farmette. No, farmer's wife, farmer's family. It was always farmer's wife and family.
I think that inherently you might think of it as a masculine term, just because it comes from such an age-old place where women weren't thought of as having a role like
they
that
as
a
field, but somebody had to cook dinner for when the guy came out of the field.
See, a misinterpretation of that is that the field was just where there was hay and wheat being grown. Right. That's what the men did. The women grew all the things that you eat, like vegetables.
Oh, they were in charge of the vegetables and everything?
Yeah, that's why they always, all the old, even in colonial times, you see all the little house guard. They were
the little house guard, yeah.
That was where you grew all the produce.
And so the women
because people didn't buy produce. Well, you think about it. People didn't buy produce at a store. There wasn't grocery stores. You would buy bags of grain or hay or whatever you needed.
Sure.
But I think that's where it comes from. But the farmer is the ubiquitous male-female term now. But I think it's only, probably since the 60s, 70s that there were women farmers, but now it's increasingly a very common thing that there are women farmers.
Everyone always assumed old MacDonald was a guy.
But there was never. But how many single men were there doing farming? Not a lot.
No, that's very, very true. I'm trying to think. Can we name a famous female
right?
A famous female farmhand.
Children of farmers.
Female
before they got married and went.
And that's why you had a lot of kids, because you needed more farmhands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I understand that. Really, I understand that.
The old woman who lived in a shoe, was she a farmer? No.
What?
Well, I was just trying to think of
How do you go from a farm to a cobbler?
No, she had like an orphanage.
Oh, she was a cobbler.
Oh, she was a cobbler. Okay.
Not to be confused with Apple Cobbler, which I like, by the way.
Or Apple Brown Betty, and then she was a farmer, right? Name a famous farmer, a farmette, or a female farmer. I'm trying to think.
You're getting the look, Bob.
I think, okay, I got one.
Just in Western Mass, I would say I would say it's like there's a lot of family-owned farms that are husband and wives.
Yes.
Yeah.
But other than that, I would say a lot of the major farms are like at least co-run by a woman.
That's right. It's exactly right.
Atlas Farm.
In your case, you split duties with your husband.
Kitchen garden farm. Yeah, we have different things.
Lauren Kondarski is from the Black Rabbit Farm.
Which is why we got into this discussion.
Yeah. And you're heading into your spring preparation here, or if you
big time, yeah.
Yeah. And what on the farm, what do you do in the springtime now that the frost is off the pumpkin, so to speak?
Well, all the stuff is already growing in the greenhouse. So all the tomatoes and
They're already grown.
they're in there. They're going at it.
You start everything from seed?
We start. Well, I mean, yeah, we start everything from seed, but in the greenhouse we start peppers, tomatoes, basil, other herbs. And
but when were those
some other fun
planted? Are
things.
those annuals, or do they just
now.
come up on that? Oh, yeah.
People with heated greenhouses start them a little bit earlier, but
Right.
we like the big farms because they like tomatoes are a huge market segment for businesses. So if you're like bringing your stuff to Boston, the earlier the better. So if you can afford to build a huge greenhouse and heat it,
Sure.
You would start them in like February.
And so when does
So they're already
when's
have
your first-
flowers. The
so when
tomatoes
did-
already have flowers.
So when does the
But
tomatoes
mine
then sprout?
are
Will
babies.
you have it like in April? You'll have tomatoes in April?
No. Ours are like the same as when they'll be ready to plant in June outside.
See, I remember my mom. She had a big garden in the backyard, big vegetable.
She was a farmer.
Yeah, well, that was her hobby.
Yeah.
She loved flowers as much as she loved the vegetable garden. But I can remember my dad rigging up heaters in the kitchen on the counter and putting grow lights underneath the cabinets, and she'd be there and she'd be starting all of her tomatoes and peppers and lettuce.
Well, it's
all
so
from
cheap
seeds.
if you do it from seed.
Yeah.
And you can save your own seed. So it doesn't. It's
I can remember her going to the garden store, local garden store, and just sorting through the racks of seeds for hours. And here I am, the little kid, just being an annoying little kid, saying, "Oh, mommy, I want to go. Are we done yet?"
Yeah.
See, I always love that.
Yeah.
What?
Going
picking out
shopping for
seeds.
Yeah.
But now I get a million catalogs and I get to thumb through.
Where,
and find
where
what
do
I
you
want.
buy seeds? Do they have them at the Big Y and Stop and Shop? And
They do, actually.
Do they? What
They have them
department?
everywhere, but-
Where do you buy them? Are they in the
I
vegetable
mean, the best
department?
place to go would be
the garden store.
the Agway. What's it now?
Agway, like
It's so
Kelly's.
good. Dave's Home and Garden. Yeah,
like
one
a
of those
home and
places.
garden.
That's a great place.
Rockies has them too. Rockies has a pretty
Rockies
good.
has stuff.
Can a
They have
seed
really unique
that's in a drawer,
seeds.
still, I mean, like it's been in a drawer for years and years and years, still sprout?
Possibly.
Oh, they do have a shelf life?
There is. I was wondering.
Well, just in a shelf. Like if you kept them at an ideal, like almost frozen but not frozen,
Yes,
and it's like the perfect conditions, then they'll last for a really long time. That's why there's seed banks all over the world. But
because there's a place like in Scandinavia somewhere
because they keep it at the perfect
temperature that will preserve
and
it.
they're not just there. People take them out, grow them, and bring back fresh ones.
Oh,
yeah.
that
so
I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, so they're being replaced. That's why it's like.
You're
It's
talking
thought
about
of
the
as a
product
library.
in the cave. They have a cave of like a vault.
There's actually
Seed vault.
a number of them around the world.
In case we have
How about
a
here in
major
America?
natural
Do you-
disaster.
Well, a big thing that they save them from is like wars. So in the unfortunate areas of the Middle East where they've been undergoing major wars for so long,
Right.
where people aren't being able to grow these crops, things are getting lost. Like some farmer
Right.
might have been growing something, his family might have been growing it for hundreds of years, and now he can't live there anymore.
Now, this
So
may
these
be-
seeds will be taken somewhere so that someone else, that genetic
It won't be
information
lost.
won't be lost.
This may be inappropriate to bring up, but you mentioned the Middle East. It's a desert. What grows in the desert?
It wasn't
You'd
a
be surprised.
desert.
It wasn't.
We're
it wasn't.
increasingly making it more of a desert, like a lot of those places.
Because they had oases, right?
No,
That-
because of cities and diverting water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man has created most of its problems.
Oh,
Yeah,
of our own
man has created most of its
That's
problems.
That's exactly right. Hey, then, speaking of seeds, heritage fruits and vegetables are made from seeds that Thomas Jefferson or year. I mean,
older. There's things
so
that,
explain that and where
1600s,
what is it
1400s.
to qualify as a heritage vegetable or something. Can you help us to understand what that is?
You know what? I heard that a long time ago, and I can't remember what it is.
Well, no, it's just, there's so there's a number of ways that you can create seeds. You can do it in a lab.
Yeah.
where the effects are not the same as if you're selectively breeding something to create what you want to do. So like a really common, like if you think about
selectively
corn.
breeding is a little bit mellower, and the changes
Right.
in laboratories are a little harder.
Well, no, it's a completely different thing. They're not. You can't think about it as the same thing. You know, it's like saying, you're baking a cake, and each time you bake it, there's one thing that you're honing a little bit better to create like your perfect cake, the cake that you think is perfect.
Yes.
Whereas doing it at a lab, it's like creating a new kind of sugar out of chemicals and then making the cake and hoping that it works out and hoping that, you know, it doesn't create something that's not good for you to consume, or is that even digestible? Because we haven't really figured that out.
Sure.
100%.
So seed makers, or if there's such a thing as seed makers, Burpee or whatever it is.
Well,
they clone seeds together and stuff like that.
I mean,
introduce a marigold to a pansy.
There are people that do that. There's usually there are people that do that and they create new things in a lab. There's also people that are creating them on the farm. There's a lot of seed farms. There's in Vermont. There's High Mowing Seed. Baker Creek Seeds has a old seed farm in Connecticut that they have, as well as a place out west.
So these are seeds.
They grow them every year. They grow the plants for seed. It's just a
seeds.
farm that grows plants for seed.
And how do they make like we talked about tomatoes earlier. There's all kinds of different types of tomatoes now that didn't exist 50 years ago.
They did.
They did exist 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's some that didn't, and there used to be significantly more.
Are these the hybrid?
Like think about it. At the time in the early 1800s, there was something like 5. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but there was like around 5,000 kinds of apple trees, right?
Okay.
Around here.
Oh yeah, very much.
There's another good example.
And now there's like 100. And now there's people that go to like these abandoned orchards in the middle of nowhere that are all overgrown and look for one branch that's still alive that they can take and graft onto another rootstock to try to see what that fruit was like. And then see if it was great.
Yes.
A lot of the things that died off were because they didn't conform to portable produce for grocery stores.
Yeah.
And there was a thing, but that also came as in the middle of the last century. We all wanted everything to be exactly the same looking. That was the cool thing because most people grew up with like everything being all gnarly and it was like a mental thing that everyone got into, like packaged foods and all this thing. So everyone wanted everything to be the same. And now we're realizing that ultimately all that stuff doesn't taste like anything and it's not ultimately that good for you.
Yeah.
So people are going back to these heritage things that might not look pretty, but the flavor is outstanding.
Sure.
So there's actually used to be significantly more variety than there is now because each family would save their own seeds. So your family could have their own tomato. Maybe it wouldn't have a name, but it was just the tomato because you chose the seeds from the plant that had the best fruit every year. And so you were on your own. If you save seeds, you are selectively breeding on your own.
Yes.
Like I do that. Like it's my own garlic, my own bean seeds.
Really? So you save your seeds from year to year?
Yeah, I would like to save more, but I'm not there. A lot of people we know have been doing it longer. So they're like, I was talking to a friend of mine that has a farm in Cummington, and he has been breeding his own basil. That's like not a basil you can buy the seeds from, but him and his wife, it's just like a fun experiment. You can create new flavors, new colors.
Wow.
And part of it's just, it's nice. It's like it's an experiment. It's fun.
Well, it's like a tree that you've had for years in your yard. I planted James and I planted a tree, and we on the day we were married or something, and we then
something.
Something. Yeah.
Bob's great with anniversaries.
Really. And so the tree that we planted.
He's like, let me check the rings on the tree.
I was just going to say the same thing.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And so the willow tree in our yard was planted there, and I watch it, and it's ours. I mean, it's a living thing that's ours, similar to vegetables or whatever.
I mean, everything. I think that, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Oh, it is a beautiful thing.
You know, and it's fun. You know, it's fun to save. The thing with saving the seeds is, you're never going to buy seeds and have them perform as well in your soil as the ones you save. Because
Makes a lot of
every
sense,
year
doesn't it?
they're retaining more genetic information in that seed about where they are.
Yeah, they're adapting.
Exactly. They know what the weather was like, the soil, the moisture. So the more seeds you always only save the seeds that were from the best
and
plants.
wouldn't it be cool to be
eating? You sacrifice
eating
sacrifice a few tomatoes for the seeds.
Sure.
And you need to save 2 tomatoes to make
I know, that's what I'm saying,
1,000 plants.
And then it would be wonderful to have. Well, we're eating grandma's tomatoes, or we're eating grandma. These were from the seeds that your grandmother planted years ago. It's that. Oh, what a wonderful idea! Hey, everybody, we got to take a break. It's 7:12. It's going to be a lovely day out today in the 50s. And sunny all day long. It's great.
Get out there and garden.
Yeah. Peter, we're going to play song 5, if you don't mind.
Which one is that?
That is The Flight of the Bumblebee. You ever heard of this?
Love this song.
Oh, yeah. It is by Rimsky-Korsakov, the Russian composer. And but this is a version by these very young brass artists from Canada called Canadian Brass. Go check out.
I love
their
it when a
albums.
marching band plays this song.
Oh yeah, but this is a great song. See if you can picture your bumblebees in your backyard gardens right now. Lauren, you'll hear your bumblebees right now. Yeah, here we go. Canadian Brass, Flight of the Bumblebee.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Noble Hospital, a brand new name for a Westfield institution which is improving the health of our community every day with quality and compassion. Noble Hospital and Bay State Health, better together.
WSKB's programming is generously underwritten by Whip City Fiber, Westfield Gas and Electric, where they offer gigabit internet speed. Whip City Fiber, turning Westfield's neighborhoods into fiberhoods. On the web at whipcityfiber.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Oh, I love this. Wow, it's Tuesday. Oh my God, I'm going to play more of this. Peter's introduced us to a band from Scotland.
Established in 1855.
Oh my God.
And did the music for one of my favorite shows, the British shows of all time, a gardening show called Ground Force.
Oh my God, I'm going to play, next week I'm going to play. This is real. This sounds like you in the garden there, Lauren Kondarski from Black Squirrel Farm.
If I was feeling really
Rabbit
fancy and
really,
like,
doesn't this?
prancing around.
I think you have to dress properly in order to farm to this music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not. I am not sad about being able to wear pants when I'm gardening. I don't know how people get in dresses.
If you're looking for this, the name of the band, and you heard me correctly, it's the Black Dyke Band.
Right.
Black D-Y-K-E Band, and it's on.
It's from Scottish. They're Scottish.
Scottish band.
Yeah, great horn band.
I love this. All right, so I'm gonna play more of this in the future years.
I'll program a show for you.
Oh no! Oh, I'll send me some stuff.
See how he's backtracking now.
Yeah. It's the old control issue, Peter. It's so terrible. I need to control everything in my
They
life.
have a song similar to Flight of the Bumblebee called Hornet's Nest.
Oh, we'll play that next week. Okay.
Perfect.
So
now
do
you're all
you?
lined up.
Speaking of bumblebees, do you have bees at your place? Do you harvest bees?
Do you harvest?
or whatever they call that.
Do you have? It's called an aviary, right?
We got bees last year, but they didn't make it
Apiary.
through the winter. So.
What do you mean they didn't make it through the winter?
Well, it's not. It's very hard for them to make it through the winter.
Do you know who you want to talk to? One of the instructors in horticulture at Westfield Technical Academy has a couple beehives. You may want to talk to him. He's a licensed.
Oh yeah, we have
apiarian.
like so many friends. We know people. The people that go to like make legislation in Washington D.C. But it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I wasn't in charge of it. It was not my project. So.
Oh sure, just passing the buck.
I would.
Did you have a funeral?
No, I'm
for
allergic
the bees?
to bees, so I don't go by the bees.
Now, obviously, they're important for pollination reasons and beyond. For what you do, how is the farming industry working to maintain that?
Very diligently. A lot of beekeepers. Like major beekeepers. I mean, Billy C., he's got bees in California. He's got them in Florida. He trucks them all over the country.
Billy C., like from Billy C.'s Jerky over here?
From the honey in Westfield.
Son of a gun.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's it's like there's brokers that get bees to get trucked into farms for pollination, because pollination is only like a few weeks for each kind of thing.
You only have a short period of time to pollinate?
Well, like trees.
Because they keep growing and they have to pollinate by a certain time, otherwise they don't mature
when
properly.
When they have flowers, you need to.
Yeah.
So it's like when trees are flowering.
That's when you got to.
Then you bring the bees in, or when the raspberries for your raspberry farm are flowering, or blueberries, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So, that's a major thing, is that there are bee brokers that are help farms get bees trucked in for pollination.
And could you buy a regular citizen who is not a farmer get some bees?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of classes for amateur beekeepers all over the place.
So are you going to have your own bees? I mean, you've got to have bees for pollination, right?
Well, okay, this is the thing. Honeybees are like one of like hundreds and hundreds of pollinators.
Yes, right.
They're just the only ones that give you honey.
That's why they call them honeybees.
So
what do the rest give you?
There's all different bees and things that if you know if you have if you're not interested in having honeybees.
Yes.
Although if you are, there's classes all over Western Mass. Google it. I know people that teach classes for people that want to do it in their backyard. A lot of people will, if you buy bees from them, which this is the time of year that you set stuff up and you'll get them in a month or May or something, and they will mentor you, because there are such a lack of bees that everyone wants more bees. So everyone will help. Any beekeeper will help you. Anyone that really is knows what they're doing will
Lauren,
mentor others.
When you get a bee, when you buy a bee, how does it come?
It comes in a box. You get a queen, and then you get a couple worker bees, and then.
Oh, I see. And then you've got to get them into a hive. You've got to introduce them
you have to have your hive. You have them introduced, but you can take classes, and it is a learning. Any animals, it is a learning process because you have to understand them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love to understand my
And it's
bees.
just practice.
Yes, yeah.
But in the meantime, if you don't want to get honeybees and you want something that's super zero maintenance, there's a lot of things called bug houses, bee houses, and you can easily make them from like scrap things that you find around your house.
Really?
And there's also kits, and they're great for a great thing for kids, something to do with kids. And you build these houses that have like different kinds of openings and little things, and you hang them in a place in your yard, and it will create homes for these other
kinds of bees.
Different bees and other insects that are helpful for pollinating. And pollination includes just your flowers in your backyard, things like that. So you want to have more flowers on your bushes, that kind of thing. The more you have the bees moving around, the next year, the better your garden will be.
So when you go to a store, like a hay and feed store, and you ask for a bee house, or what? I mean,
I'm sure they have them for sale at Agway, and I'm sure they have them for sale.
Westfield Feed.
Westfield Feed.
Something like that.
But they're easy to make because it's really just.
What do you do?
A little box that's open on one wall.
Right.
That's filled with like, people make them with like little like.
How do you
toilet paper and paper towel tubes and things, because they just want something they can fly into and like set up house at the back.
Do they have I guess a territory would be? How far would they fly from the hive?
I mean, every insect is different, but they go really far. So
if I had it here and
they go out to Sturbridge for a day.
No, they'll go like 10 miles.
Really?
Oh, 10 miles. Okay.
That's cool.
Well, when you consider that a bee is a little tiny thing, it's 10 miles is a long. That's really
bonkers.
Long.
Okay, that's
good think about it. That's like you going around the world.
That's right.
You
and
know?
They come back to their home, their hive. Listen to this. Honest to God. Hey, everybody. It's 7:23 in the morning. I am going off because if you didn't hear in the first, Dr. Schmelken rears his wonderful head again, and I'm having an endoscopy this morning. Oh, good news, everyone. Yeah, right. So I'm leaving right now. I'm going to leave you in good hands. I have the questions right here, Peter, for...
I thought we were gonna do it right now.
No, I don't have time because I'm supposed to be at Bay State Noble Hospital at.
Well, we can do the 7:15 break now.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I'd love you to play is Penthouse Serenade. Errol Garner, one of my favorite pianists, in 1951 had the first jazz solo concert on this day. And so I said, I got to find something by Errol Garner. He sometimes hums in the background. I don't know if you hear him on this song, but this is so great. It's great jazz by Errol Garner, who in the 50s, 51 I think, had the first jazz solo concert ever in the history of the world. Here we go. Errol Garner, Penthouse Serenade. I'm off to the hospital. Have fun the next half hour, everybody. I'll report back next week. And see you soon. Get out there and volunteer.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Underwriting for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
You could do that.
That's why we need to wait till Kenny gets here.
We need to go out and get some students. We can each have a team.
We'll just grab
they're
them
going to pass.
Real
They're not awake yet. It's 7:30.
That's the best time to get them because they'll say stuff they don't know what they're saying.
I'll be like, sure.
Yeah, good luck with
We'll get
that.
you a coffee.
Whatever.
Good luck with that. It's truly
You know,
good.
we were talking off air, and thank you, Lauren Kondarski from Black Rabbit Farm in Southwick. We were talking
You got it right.
about dancing, places to go that you can dance. Where is there around here?
There was a guy, that Club Rain thing, that was trying to cater to the college-age students, and I think they're gone now, too.
Well, I mean, that's a college place. So
You're taking it. That's a small
dance.
niche,
Right.
But we're looking for something. And I happened to be someplace this past Friday night where the dance floor was full, beginning to end of the night.
Was that a targeted audience, though?
It was, and it's also a regular thing they do all winter long. They do a regular with dance music. So there might have been 300 people there, 200 to 300 people, and they're there because they know this place is there every week. It's cheap to get in. The drinks aren't expensive, and they can dance all night for not a lot of money.
No, that's the key.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like all music is great to dance. I mean, you can have really great jazz music, and it would be fun to dance to. You know what I mean? You can have a really good DJ, and it would be fun to dance to. It's just it's about having a good person or a good group.
Somebody who can read
music.
you got to read the audience, though, because when I sit down to do a DJ a job, I look around and see what I got, and then I know what eras I'm playing.
I think there are some that are universal. I think there are some music is universal and that everyone will dance. But I think that also, depending on who you're playing to,
right?
That's the people that are gonna get up first.
You're gonna play. I played to a fire chief's retirement on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
That's way different than when I did the Vogue Prom a couple of years ago. And that was even funnier because there were 3 subsets in that group. I'd play a group of 3 country tunes and a group would come out. I'd play 3 urban dance tunes and a group would come out. And then I'd play a couple rock and roll tunes and a different group. They would just change the dance floor. It was funny as heck watching it. Just change the dance floor.
Yeah, I guess, there's
You play a slow song and almost everybody comes out.
Oh, I don't know.
Because it was a prom.
For me.
It was a prom.
Yeah, they were just wanting to be touching each other.
They don't need music to do that.
Oh, it's a good excuse, though, isn't it?
It's the only way you can get away with it
parents.
with the teachers watching, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But even the administrators there were noticing, and they're like, "You're doing that on purpose, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, you play 3 songs, give them a rest.
Yeah.
Play 3 songs, give them a rest. Play 3 songs, give them a rest."
Because gone are the days when I could get a full dance floor for the full night with all the same people. It's just that was back in the day when they didn't know enough to get off the dance floor.
Play a disco tune and almost everybody would come out on the 70s.
Yeah, disco gets everyone dancing.
See, now I can remember a day
Casey
when,
and the Sunshine Band tune.
I can remember a day in the 80s when disco, you'd clear the dance floor. That's it. We don't want to hear no more disco.
Not anymore.
Yeah, but it's back. It's, it's
Yeah.
anything with a good beat. And, and then it's just, okay, then there's the electronic pop, that's just hard driving, and then you got to have the lights.
There is music that's made for dancing.
Yeah.
A lot of music.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music that's made for
Look
dancing.
at Daft Punk. Get Lucky. Huge tune because it was a good dance tune.
Right. Pitbull.
Bruno Mars.
Anything Pitbull does. And
Bruno
all he
Mars,
does is go up on stage and jump up and down. That's all he ever does. Yeah, what's the point?
I think that for people that love music from a musical sense, can get caught up in the musicality of music and forget about the fun and the letting go and the freedom of just having a good time and forgetting about the musicality for a second. And I'm a classical musician at the beginning.
Just get lost in the
sometimes,
in the fun.
and that's what I was saying. Like, I say this to people a lot. We listen to the most diverse array of music in our house that anyone could ever imagine. But and a lot of times, like hip hop and stuff, people are like, I don't, it's like, it's fun. A lot of the rock and roll stuff and things that come out now, it's so dreary and depressing. Country music, it's such a downer. But some of the stuff, it's just made to be fun. It's made to be fun. There's all this music that's just made to be fun, and it's for dancing, cleaning your house, just being fun, having a fun time. And it's not it's not like the highest quality music.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and it's positive, and it's upbeat, and that's a lot. That does a lot for a lot of people.
I started DJing back in the early 70s, and that was a very new thing. You had a band. When we went to a high school or junior high dance or a high school dance, you had a band.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in junior high, all of a sudden you could come in and play music, and the technology was there to mix and
right.
Granted, it was still two pieces of vinyl, and we had a good time. It still is, and a lot of times, yeah, it is, and that was new and different. And through the 70s and 80s, I had a lot of fun DJing for parties, and then I had kids, but somewhere in there, my love went back to bands because the art of making music, and probably because I never had the talent to do it myself, it was so much fun to have a band up there, a group of people just making some wonderful music. They're creating the excitement, and they're the reason we're there, to watch them, to listen to them, and Lord knows you don't want to just see them up there just strumming a guitar. They got to be hopping around, enjoying what they're doing, because if they're having fun, then the rest of the people in the room are going to have fun. Act like you're having fun.
I'm going off script with a fun tune.
And yeah, okay, and we'll be there in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, dance like nobody's watching.
And I'm getting weary. How far is heaven? And I know that I need to change my ways of living. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? I've been locked up And I'll just keep on praying, Lord, and just keep on living. How far is heaven? Yeah, Lord, can you tell me? How far is heaven? 'Cause I just gotta know how far, yeah. How far is heaven? Yeah, Lord, can you tell me? En al cielo, échame tu bendición. 'Cause I know there's a better place than this place I'm living. How far is heaven? And I just got to have some faith and just keep on giving. How far is heaven? Yeah, Lord, can you tell me? How far is heaven? I just gotta know how far, yeah. How far is heaven? Yeah, Lord, can you tell me? How far is heaven? I just gotta know how far. I just wanna know how far.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. That's what you'll find on Ken's Den, Tuesdays from 8 till 10.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
And you're listening to JPEG Luca on Wow, It's Tuesday, along with Lauren Kondarski from Black Rabbit Farm in Southwick. Lauren, you have a little restaurant and takeout place right here on downtown, don't you?
Well, we did.
Jay, where you been?
We did.
What happened?
Well, we're moving into our new place on our farm.
Place on the farm. I apologize.
But we're currently trying to find someone to take over the space with all the equipment, so that if someone wants to
open a small shop,
it would be really nice to continue on having that be a fun food place. So if anyone's interested.
So let me rephrase that and say, you used to have a place downtown, but you're going to be moving it out on the farm.
Yeah, we're moving into the farm. We're just in the process of.
When's that expected to be done? Are you going to be doing this summer? Or
Yeah.
Up and running this summer.
We're like done with the building. We're just waiting on permits.
Excellent.
So, we need 10 permits.
You don't want to move the stuff from the space
10
downtown
different
out there, or are
permits.
you buying new stuff?
We have all new stuff at our new place, so we're
Okay.
trying to get someone that wants to have like a bakery or something in town to.
Oh.
It would be nice to have a good bread bakery in there.
Wouldn't it,
hint,
though?
hint, anyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got all new equipment in our new place, so.
Okay.
You were talking about permits and
Maybe the co-owner of Circuit would want to the guy the brother that's the baker there. Maybe want to branch out a little bit. Just saying, because I know he's a talented baker. So
I don't know if they have the space for the. Well, they could.
they
get
don't. I
across
think there's
the
a
street.
facility of it in Circuit. So
Yeah, but you've got to have money to spend.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like anything, and Lauren, you were talking about
Like anything.
permitting and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that we have to have permits for all the businesses that are in town, but it is a little cumbersome to get through that process, isn't it?
This is the difference between government and a regular business. When you have a business, you make things streamlined. And when you're a government, every time you want to like improve something, you just add something onto it, another thing. And that's why it doesn't work very well, is because now you have people that have a job where it's just a step that might not even be important or useful anymore.
That's a pretty good analogy. Yeah.
They're just there. It's just another thing. Whereas as a business owner, you wouldn't make there be like 45 steps to someone hiring you.
So, if as a business owner, if you could just snap your fingers and say, okay, I understand I need 10 permits. How can I make this process easier? Now you're talking to the
It's
city
not that it's
councilors,
hard.
or-
It's not that it's hard. It's just time consuming.
Right. How can I make it easier? How can I make it more
This
efficient?
process, the average time to get all your permits for a brewery is 6 months. Not doing anything, just by the time you submit the paperwork. And for each, because you need one, then you can do the other. And just in the time it takes just because everyone has a lot these days, everyone has more work than they can even attempt to get to in a timely basis. And so it just takes a long
But as a
time. It's not for
business-
it's not hard. It's just cumbersome.
Yeah, and I find as a business, my job as something comes into my inbox, how fast can I get it to the outbox, or take care of it? That's being efficient. That's being productive. I don't find that with government.
Because no one has a boss. You can't get fired for doing a bad job unless a lot of people
complain,
and but you can't complain to the people that are giving you your permits.
Right, because that's the last permit you're ever going to see.
So that's a major issue with government.
That's
for no other
frustrating.
reason that there's a lot of, and everyone knows this because everyone has. Westfield's actually really great. There's a lot. We had a food truck for 5 years, and in a food truck in Massachusetts, you have to get a health permit every single town. So we've dealt with like a lot of different
Right.
Every year we get like 40 different permits, right? So that's like a lot of different places.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different towns. Some of them are really super efficient and it's great. And most of them, the people that work there don't even know what the rules are.
Well, that's part of the problem too.
Because they don't have a boss, and it doesn't matter if you do a good job or a bad job.
And I'm
you
a
get
new
to
city
keep your
councilor, and I just started here, and I don't know how this works.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, is that no one, you don't know, there's no one checking up on who's doing a good job.
No, and I have to say, part of it though is us as a business knowing where we need to go, because sometimes we've got to help those people learn.
Yeah.
Some towns try to streamline it, like Westfield has a round table thing where they kind of gather everybody in one room, and you go in his business and say, okay, where do I need to go? This is what I want to do.
And and I've got to say,
And a
City
couple of
Hall,
those things cities do that.
City Hall has here in Westfield is good for that. And when I started working with Westfield on weekends, there were a lot of permits that I had to get in order to do the things we do.
Yeah, for sure.
I go, really? I got to do that? Holy cow. Yeah, and then they give you the form that's 7 miles long, and and I don't know what to write in there. Fortunately, we have somebody in City Hall that walked me through the process, and all of a sudden, it wasn't so daunting. Because I had no idea, and then I got to stand up in front of a committee and explain what we're doing.
Yeah, I think we come from it from another point of view. So we always know what has to get done. We read the laws. We read the actual laws, which is not common. But my husband and I, because we have different businesses, we need a lot of different permits for different things that we do, and we read what. We know what's required. What is required.
You walk in the room.
Where we find the issue is that we walk into town halls and they don't know the laws and they don't know what's right and wrong, and they just say no until you can prove, because they don't want to do any work and don't want to think outside of the box, and so they just want everything to be what they've always done.
Then here's a suggestion. Then when you go to City Hall and you have that knowledge, don't be a know-it-all, because I've been on both sides of that.
No, we're not.
So here, I'm the business. Here are the steps that I'm pretty sure we have to follow. Is this correct? And now you're helping them learn. And hopefully
it's easy for
learn.
you to say that with your age and the way you look.
There you go with my age again.
Well, I'm saying
that's not always an advantage.
It's not always, but there is. It's a major issue that, as a woman, I've always known about, especially running restaurants in New York City, about people thinking that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, then there's people in City Hall that just want to be annoying because they can be annoying.
When you're younger than people and you're like, I want to do this, these are all the permits, here you go, all the paperwork, and they're like, well, you can't do that. And we're like, you can, and they're like, the state, and you're like, okay, and then we contact the state, and the state's like, oh yeah, you're great, and then the town is like, I don't know.
So that's why you got to walk in with the attorney that's there, and they can give you a little.
But I'm just
authority.
saying, it's not for. This has happened in numerous places all around this state. There, we've noticed things in other places. I think that it would be great if there was a way for there to be people looking out at their, not at the legislators, not the people you vote in, but the people that have the jobs in city halls across the country, where you could actually go and be like, I don't think this person is doing a good job, and have you be able to work with that.
As most times it's probably just due to lack of training then. That they don't know
lack of
what they
training,
don't know.
or just not everyone. If you are a person that always tries to do the best job, you forget that there are a lot of people that don't ever try to do a good job and don't care as long as they have the job still.
Yeah,
it's hard to remember that if you are a person that always does a good job. That's why there are a lot of things you get. When I used to work in corporate companies, you would get these information from on high. Oh, we're going to have people do this. And I would be like, people aren't going to do that because they're not trying to do the best job. They're not going above and beyond.
We've got to have a long conversation about the corporate world sometime. That'll be a lot of fun because I have a lot of reasons I like it.
There's a lot of great stuff and a lot of great things that doesn't work well.
Yeah. Well, this is JPEG Luca. We've been talking with Lauren Kandarski here from Black Rabbit
all sorts
Farm.
of places.
All sorts of. Well, it's amazing because you've done so much in your life, in your relatively short life compared to mine.
Done a lot of different things. Yeah.
Hey Jay, I believe it's that time.
It is that time. It's time for As Nitwits Match Wits. And we have our regular cast of characters joining us here on the microphone. We appreciate that. Good morning, everyone.
It's different with you doing it, though, Jay.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. You might listen to the answers.
What? Oh, I got to listen to? Oh, no.
It's time to play the feud.
Well, yeah. How do we get from as nitwits match wits to the feud? But
I don't know, because
actually,
that's Bob's questions this year.
He
It's the
handed
calendar he bought.
Bob handed me the family.
Are you
feud
partying? You
calendar.
gonna play?
Lauren, you gonna play? Come on over to the.
You gotta
gotta
play.
Come over to the microphone.
Question number 1.
First.
Question number 1 is:
Yeah.
name a subject in school you'd hate to find out a 10-year-old knows more than you do.
Any?
Yeah, most of them.
There goes. I know what he's going to say.
You know what I'm going to say,
I do.
teacher?
I do.
Sex ed.
I knew that.
Okay.
Oh, that's hard.
Phys ed.
Go for it.
That knows more than you.
Any of the stems?
I don't know. This is hard.
I'm going to say sciences. Yeah, the sciences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Math.
And math would be
Because
included
it's
in that.
still new. They're on top of
Computers.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, computer program.
Well, we all know 10-year-olds know more than we do.
Number 1 answer.
Math. Number 2, history. Number 3 is science. Ding, 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 ding. Number 4, sex education. 10 years old, really? Okay.
Yeah, I
They
feel
teach
like 10
them
is
young.
young.
They start teaching them in
History, I don't
kindergarten
know.
now.
No surprise here is computers, and because they were born with a computer,
Yeah.
and 6 is English. All right, number 2, name something a little girl does to punish her doll.
Put her to sleep. In bed.
Oh, okay. Where
Not
was
like
my
a
mind
dog.
going?
Not like a dog.
Why was I thinking
Make her
that?
go to bed.
Where are you thinking? Oh, God,
Put her
Bob,
to
I
sleep.
miss you.
Put her under the bed.
Sure, how quickly they forget. Oh, good, we're going to get good questions. Bob, I miss you.
Put her under the bed.
Under the bed. Pull her hair.
Kathy?
Punish my doll? I didn't punish my doll. When I was little, we only had one.
And you had to share it.
And we had to share it in the storm uphill both ways. I guess put her back in the box. I don't know.
Oh, I like
That's
that.
a good one.
Put you back
Ken
in the-
Stomsky.
Cut her hair.
Cut her hair.
That was always
Lauren?
mean.
That's something brothers do.
What do you got, Lauren?
Somehow this is.
I said
this,
put her to bed.
Oh, put her to bed. That's
Put her
right.
to
Okay.
bed. Okay.
Number 1.
Spank it.
That was, is that number 1?
That's what Kenny would do.
That's a different type of doll.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Move on, please, very quickly.
Damage it, drop it, throw it against the wall.
Yes.
Okay. Time out. Put it in the corner.
Yeah, go to
That's
bed.
I always put it underneath the bed, yeah.
These are mean little kids.
We know
Choke
what we know what generation voted on this.
Really?
Choke it.
Yeah.
Kid.
Throw it away.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, not, yeah.
And,
that was
and
not an
yell
option.
at it.
Yell at it.
This
Okay.
is mean little kids.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's that 10-year-old that was smarter than you at
Throw
sex
it
ed.
away.
All right. Here's one I know everybody's going to know. Same
Not
thing.
going near this.
Name something people take from a hotel room.
Soap.
Towels.
Towels. That was going to be mine.
You can share it.
The
It's
soap
okay.
and the little shampoos.
If they have like writing paper and.
Oh, okay.
I bet you some idiot said refrigerator.
Yeah, I'm going to see.
TV, bed.
I'm going to see that
You bring
walking
a really
out through
big
the
duffel
lobby.
bag in your
Yeah,
suitcase for that
right.
one.
Well,
You watch, I bet you it's on there.
y'all took all the good ones.
You spend a lot of time in hotels, Ken.
I do.
Yeah.
And that's why I can acknowledge it. Y'all took all the good ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will go with coffee.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I don't make the coffee, so that little
That
bag.
packet,
I
that
take it
packet,
home.
that
Yeah.
packet comes home with me.
Okay.
That's fair.
Towels, soap, matchbooks. Do they still leave matchbooks
I don't
in the
think
room?
Really?
so.
What decade was this from?
You
Yeah,
should say
right.
matchbooks and ashtrays.
Yeah, shampoo and a robe.
The robe is a big deal. You're not supposed to take that.
We're not supposed to take the towels either.
Well,
30 years ago, I used to take ashtrays.
30 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
like
all right.
logo ashtrays.
I don't
They're-
think every ashtray in my house. I don't think I bought it.
Really?
That all came from a Holiday Inn, I think.
Name an occasion for which a woman might want to lose a quick 10 pounds. Not 210
Oh,
pounds.
high school reunion.
Oh, okay.
Wedding.
Yeah, that's the
another
no-brainer
good
one.
too. Wedding and high school reunion. Yep.
Ken?
Bikini season.
Another good one.
Family reunion.
Another good one. Wow, you guys are on it today.
Wedding, class reunion, date or prom. A date, prom. A quick 20 pounds, really?
For a date, that's like, you got to plan that out ahead.
You gotta plan ahead.
Like,
You gotta
I'd
plan
love to go
ahead.
on a date with you. I need 3 weeks.
10 pounds is a lot if you're 120 wet.
Yeah, well, yeah. An anniversary, a beach, what? An anniversary? No, you already got him. Why would you need it? Nah, never mind. A beach or swimsuit.
Kenny's all over that.
Yeah, and if I wanted to model. Well, not me, but, yeah. So, finally.
Do you want to borrow my purple thong? Is that what you were
Move along, move along. Now you're getting the finger.
I just can't unsee that one. Oh. Name something. Name something from home you wish you could take with you when you travel.
Oh, my cat.
Yeah, my dog. But I guess I have to come up with a different thing.
I don't have an animal, so cable television.
You're going to go on vacation to watch television,
You
really?
want to see your local news.
That's what the internet's for.
I'm just saying. This appears to be a quiz from the 80s, so I'm going back to the
Okay,
80s.
that's fair, that's fair.
Yeah, there's no date on
Way
this.
back, isn't
Yeah.
it? Ken,
date.
you.
Oh, 2016. Okay.
All the hotels I stay at have everything I need, and they're usually around the 7-Eleven.
Or the package store.
Exactly. So I'm going to have to say my weed.
What? Okay.
We did not hear that.
Make sure it's legal in the state you're going to.
Something
He's
you could
talking
take
about
from home you
dandelions.
wish you could take when you travel. Number 1 is a bed.
What?
A bed.
What?
Take your bed.
I mean, I guess.
How are you
going
going
to
to get that on a 737?
Yeah, right. Okay. A pet. We heard that.
That's all, yeah.
Yeah.
Your pillow.
Ah, that's a good
A
one.
lot of people
lot of
take.
people
I've seen a
take
lot of
their
people
pillow.
take your pillow.
You
Yeah.
get the vacuum sealer thingy.
Out of the 100 people,
I don't
only
know the
4
pillow position.
said they wanted to take their family with them. That's good. It's 8 o'clock.
That's good.
It's 8 o'clock. What a great last question. You joined us for As Nitwits Match Wits. I'm Jay Pagluka, along with Pete Coles, Lauren Kendarski, Kathy Palmer, and the Ken's Den. Who's right up next? We'll be back right after this.
Dan Morath.
You're beautiful. Yeah. You're beautiful. Hop on the back of my bike, let the good wind blow through your hair. Would I act like that? And a smile so bright, oh, you're killing me. You know it ain't fair.